The beauty of collecting is that sometimes, things happen for a reason. Things that people didn't want at that time ended up being some of my most beloved and prized collection today. One of the most common questions I get from Singaporeans is how much is a piece? Which is your most expensive piece? Yeah, and I think for us Singaporeans, that is an easy way of valuing an item. True, I agree, but in the world of antique collecting, we learn very quickly that there are pieces that I've spent a lot of money on, but end up may not be worth so much. Maybe it was a problem piece, it was a restored piece, or maybe it wasn't even a Peranakan piece to start with. But there were pieces that nobody wanted, pieces that I picked up for very, very affordable prices. Pieces like the batik altar cloths that people felt it was the poorer cousin of the batik sarong, that ended up as my most valuable and my most beloved pieces. For the altar cloth, is often embroidered pieces because it's Chinese in nature, right? It's religion. And here you have an altar cloth for a Chinese form of worship, but the styling is batik, it's made locally. So I said, okay, if I cannot be the king of batik sarongs, I will be the king of batik altar cloths. So I started to hunt for batik altar cloths, and the runners were happy that I was buying these batik altar cloths because no one wanted them. And I remained true to my conviction, and the collection grew to such a big extent, to more than 70 pieces, that the National Heritage Board heard about it and said, we hear you have this very interesting collection, we'd like to have a look at it. And when they saw it, they said, how can we work with you? And by that time, I had felt that it was time to part with it. So I donated the entire collection to the Peranakan Museum. And I think that's where I feel proud of what I feel most proud of my collection. It's not chasing after things that people are also chasing, but really looking at the beauty that perhaps other people don't see. When you come and visit the Intan, you will realize that I have many beaded shoes. And somebody asked me, why do you have so many beaded shoes? Now, for many collectors, our first love is often porcelain. And that's why porcelain prices remain very high even till today. And I could never afford porcelain in those days. But nobody was interested in the beaded shoes. And I found them rather interesting and rather exciting part of the Peranakan culture, where the beads have come from Europe, from France, some say from Czechoslovakia. Many of the designs are European in designs, and they were made for local consumption. So I started collecting. Today I have one of the largest collection of beaded shoes. For me as a collector, many people have passed on pieces to me, and I tell them you can fetch a higher price from others, And I said, why you sell it to me? And he says, because Alvin, we see your sincerity. We know that you truly love these pieces and that you will take good care of them. And for me, these pieces are, at the end of the day, they are material culture. It's the story behind it that I think makes it alive, that gives it a soul. And I promise those that I have acquired from that, these pieces will remain in the collection as long as I can.